Alien priories were religious establishments in England, such as a monastery or convent, which were under the control of another religious house outside England. Usually the mother house was located in France. History. Alien priories were small dependencies of foreign religious houses. Specifically, this pertained to the English possessions of French religious houses. The precedent went back at least as far as 912. Aelfrath, daughter of Alfred the Great, married Baldwin II, Count of Flanders. She received various properties under her father's will, and gave Lewisham Priory with its dependencies, Greenwich and Woolwich, to the Abbey of St. Peter at Ghent. Edward the Confessor gave the parish church at Deerhurst, and its lands to the monastery of St. Denis. The practice increased after the Norman conquest. A number of Norman lords had founded abbeys on the lands in France, which in many cases sent monks to England to manage the property. William the Conqueror gave to the Abbey of St. Etienne in Caen the manors of Frampton and Bincombe in Dorset. During the reign of William Rufus, Hamlin de Ballan founded the Benedictine Priory of St. Mary, at Abergavenny under the jurisdiction of the Abbey of St. Vincent at Le Mans. The designation alien priory included any property owned by the French houses, regardless of whether there was an actual priory constructed upon it. Some priories enjoyed more autonomy than others. A distinction was drawn between those where the prior was appointed and served at the will of the abbot of the mother house, and those where the prior was elected by the monks. In the latter case, the land was vested in the priory and could not be sold by the abbot. The priories paid an apport, a nominal fixed sum, annually to the mother house. A medieval abbey which held distant estates normally administered them by establishing a small cell, a priory of 2 or 3 monks to manage a manor, a group of manors, and send the profits to the mother house. King John compelled them to pay into the royal treasury the apport. In 1294, when King Edward I of England was at war with France, many of the alien priories were seized, numbering about 100, and the revenues were used to help pay for the war. In order to prevent the foreign monks in southern coastal areas giving possible help to invaders, he deported many of them to other religious houses that were 20 or more miles from the coast. King Edward II of England subsequently followed this example, taking the alien priories into his own hands, but he not infrequently appointed the priors custodians for a consideration, obliging them to pay to the crown the apport due to the superiors. When Edward III came to the throne, he restored many of the alien priories to their original owners and waived the arrears of payments due to the crown. But 10 years later, when war broke out again with France, he reverted to the policy of his predecessors, and again seized the property of these French aliens. For 23 years, these foreign houses remained in his hands, but with the Peace of 1361 most of them were restored, only to be again sequestrated 8 years later when the war was renewed. In the time of Richard II, the alien priories continued mostly in the hands of the crown. In 1378, all the monks in alien priories were expelled from England. They finally came to an end under Henry V in 1414. Those that had not been already assigned with the Pope's assent to other religious purposes, were finally suppressed by Simon de Montfort's Parliament, and the revenues taken into the king's hands. The crown, however, in most cases transferred the property to other monasteries.